everyone, Alexa here from the blog theduvallhomestead.com, and today I'm going to show you a tour of our little farmhouse minimalist girls nursery. I've been wanting for a long time to share this nursery with you, but what happened was the week that I was going to share it, I gave birth, and so I never got to photograph it. And then right after the birth, as you can probably imagine, having a home birth, a bunch of stuff got moved into this room and it was nowhere near ready to be photographed. So I was like, this is gonna have to wait a little bit. So I'm bringing it to you now with a baby, even though I originally planned to share it before she even arrived. And so it was going to be a gender neutral nursery because we didn't know her gender. But now I can say it's a girls nursery, even though we really don't have a lot of girl decorations. It is technically a girls nursery. Our baby, Allison, is 2.5 weeks old right now, and she has not spent very much time in this room at all. So the idea of a nursery to me is more of a storage place for the baby's stuff, slash maybe something that the baby will use when they're older. And I do come in here to nurse occasionally because it's just pretty and calming. So I am very minimalist in my style, especially when it comes to baby stuff. We do not have a very big house, and the bedroom we have for the baby is just a very small bedroom, but really didn't want a lot of stuff for her. I wanted just the basics and the most minimum amount of things. I just feel like when there's a lot of stuff in a room, it gets really cluttered and kind of stresses me out. I really enjoy seeing things very clear and clean. So it's kind of a minimalist nursery. There's not a whole lot going on here. So while I was creating this nursery when I was pregnant, I took a lot of video of kind of step-by-step everything I was doing. So I'm going to kind of filter that video into this one. Last weekend we had our baby shower and we had a lot of people bring us gifts, which was so nice. So we have a lot of gifts in this room now. A lot of them are in big boxes like the stroller and the car seat, and we're like, where do we put this stuff? So we're probably gonna put it in the garage, but I'm at least gonna clear out the room, try to get the clothes in one area, and I'm just gonna slowly put everything in the right place. Even though we don't need a lot of this stuff or any of it really for the baby to be born, I would like it to be done because I'll just feel so much better and it would be kind of like complete. Still a lot of work to do, feeling like it is never going to get done, but I know that it will because it always does. We got the crib mostly set up. It's kind of an antique crib, so we are still trying to figure out how to set it up properly. I'm gonna have to call my dad because he's the last one who probably set it up 30 years ago. So the crib, although it has not been used by anyone other than our cats who love it, is a hand-me-down from my parents. So it was the crib that I slept in and my brother slept in, which I just think is so cool. When my dad first pulled it out of the garage and his storage space, I didn't know if it was still gonna be working or not. It looked pretty old, but we did get it put together and it seems to be working just fine. I think it's beautiful and I really like it. I feel like it's very old and traditional looking. It doesn't have the look of a new Pottery Barn crisp white crib that you might see in a magazine. Not like I don't like those cribs, those are beautiful too. But I kind of like that it's used. In fact, there are some teething marks on the side of the crib from maybe me or my brother, I don't know, who apparently they were teething on the side of the crib. I actually put Allison in the crib for the first time today while I was eating my lunch and photographing this room. So I got a picture of her in the crib and I think it's just so adorable. But to be honest, it was her first time in it. So I lost footage for one of the most exciting parts of this nursery, which is the slip-covered chair behind me. The big comfy nursing chair that I made a slipcover for. I sewed it from scratch from white drop cloth, and I took a video of the whole process, and the SD card that the video is on got damaged. So unfortunately you won't see the behind the scenes of the slipcover, but I will show it to you as a finished product. This chair was green when I got it off Facebook Marketplace, and it came with a set with a couch next to it. and I really wanted a white slipcover. So I watched some YouTube tutorials on how to make a slipcover, and essentially the hard part was creating the piping, which is that nice piece that goes along the edges. And then kind of just sewing it all together was difficult. If you've ever done a slipcover, you probably know what I'm talking about. I just did one piece or two pieces at a time. So I did a corner, and then I would do the long side, and then I would do the armrest or something. And every time you have to flip everything inside out and then bring it to your sewing machine and sew it, and then bring it back, flip it back together so you see that it worked correctly. It was a long process. It took me probably at least a month, if not two, because I was working at the same time, so I only worked on the chair for a couple hours a week. Thank goodness I started that way early in my pregnancy, because if I had waited, it definitely would not have gotten done. Because the chair was from Facebook Marketplace, I really wanted to slipcover it because it was a used chair and the material that was on the chair was several years old. So I didn't really want to be nursing on it. I really wanted a clean chair. But for $100 to have that chair and the couch in a different room, it's just too good of a deal, and I figured I'll just spend another $100 or $200 on the drop cloth to slipcover it, and that's a pretty big savings. Now, it would have been more of a savings if I would have gotten regular painter's drop cloth and then just dyed it or bleached it white. I didn't realize how expensive the pre-bleached white drop cloth was going to be. So in hindsight, I probably spent another $100 on just the fact that it was pre-bleached white, but that's okay. I'm glad that I got it, and it ended up working out perfectly. Okay, now I am sewing some diaper inserts. This is my first time having a baby, so I'm kind of guessing here, but I got some hemp cotton fleece material, and I got some just plain organic fleece. And I'm just going to layer them together. And I bought some diaper inserts from Amazon already to kind of model off of and see what I can do with the fabrics that I have. It's definitely cheaper if you can buy fabric in bulk and make it yourself. If you have a serger, it's particularly easy. I actually made some without the serger before, and I can't believe I did that because it took forever, and this is a lot easier. So the changing table was a really nice Facebook Marketplace find, and I think I paid $40 or $50 for it, and it is from Pottery Barn, which is amazing because it's just very nice quality, very heavy. I like the drawers, I like that it's simple and it fits well in the room, and I like that it was only 50 bucks. So on the changing table, I just put out the homemade cloth diapers that I made, the inserts for the diapers, and then we've got some wipes and some blankets. With a newborn, I find that I'm constantly reaching for blankets and wipes and diapers every hour or two. And then of course once a day or twice a day, she gets a different kind of swaddle, maybe a couple different outfits. So it's nice to have a place to put all that stuff. Now, normally I keep the diapers and her clothing and all of her blankets in my bedroom because that's actually where I spend most of my time with her. But I brought them in here just so that I could kind of set them on the changing table and see how they would look. I guess maybe one day we will move everything in here and actually use this room. Maybe once she's going to the bathroom less, but right now with every couple of hours doing a diaper change, it just makes sense to have it all in our room. On the changing table, I put this really cute doll that was just received as a gift from a family friend, and it's probably the only toy that we have in here for, you know, a girl, and it's the first kind of stuffed animal or doll that we have, so I thought that was really sweet. I just put it right on the changing table. And then I have a basket with some homemade soaps, and that was actually a gift to us from a family member who does a lot of natural soap making and lotions and stuff like that. And she made those baby soaps, so they're really light, and so they're very natural and can be used in the bath for her. And then this cup with the spoon and fork in it is a hand-me-down from my grandmother, her great-grandmother. And it was my mother and her siblings' old cup and spoon. And it just looks so vintage and cute, so I was excited to put that right there. In the baskets below the changing table, I have Allison's clothing. Most of this is stuff we got before we knew the gender, so it's just basically just onesies and stuff like that. I have a bin for the newborn clothing, and then I have bins for like a 3 to 6 month, and that's pretty much all we need. I really didn't, like I said, I didn't want a whole lot of stuff. I just wanted a couple of outfits, Having her in the summertime is nice because she's warm enough that we don't need to be buying that many clothes. She can just wear a onesie and a swaddle all day and it's plenty for her. The vase that I put in here is also a gift from a family member. So I kind of like that. I didn't really buy any of this stuff. It's really just either hand-me-downs or gifts, and kind of felt like everyone decorated for me. There was not much I really needed to do. My biggest contribution was definitely the nursing chair. And of course we have a bin of books on the side here. We loved asking for books at our baby shower and we've already started reading them, although of course she can't understand them, but I do think she can hear us, and that's really fun. Whenever she's kind of awake and not, you know, she's not hungry, she doesn't want to sleep, she's just kind of awake, we'll pull a book out and just start reading it. And I'll be honest, I think John and I are really enjoying the books because I'm sure as an experienced parent, if you're watching this, you might say you will get so tired of these books, and maybe we will, but it's really fun right now because we never read these kind of books and they're really nice. They're kind of fun. So I put some photos on the wall above the crib, which I hardly ever put things on the walls. You might notice there's hardly anything on the walls in here just because I like the simple look and I really want to preserve the wall. But I did hang up this little photo collage. These are photos from when we visited family in San Diego. It was that time when I was finally starting to see my baby bump and I felt like it was so big because I could see it. And so I took pictures. We kind of did a baby announcement when we were down there. And it's just funny because when I was putting this together, I was way more pregnant and way bigger, and I was laughing at myself because I thought I was really big in these pictures, and now I look back and I'm like, I don't even see a bump. But nonetheless, I think they're really pretty. I like the color pattern, how they're all very neutral, bright, almost washed out in a way, but not totally. And actually, I'm wearing a pink dress in the pictures, which is perfect because she's a girl. Okay, well that's it for our nursery tour. I hope you enjoyed this Minimalist Farmhouse nursery tour for a baby girl. If you're brand new to my page, make sure you subscribe on YouTube and like on Facebook. Every week I post new farm-to-table recipes and homemade natural living from our homestead in Duvall. Thank you so much for stopping by the Duvall Homestead.